What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today is day 9 of the 3rd annual 10 Days of Pumpkin here on the channel. The beer I'm reviewing today comes from the Central Waters Brewing Company, and they are out of Amherst, Wisconsin, and this is their Wendy. So they're calling this one a Coffee Pumpkin Milkshake IPA that is brewed with pumpkin, coffee, and spices. And on the side of the can, they list most, if not all, the ingredients. It says real pumpkin, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, clove, and allspice. It comes in at 7.2% alcohol by volume, 30 IBUs at the time of review. This can is just over 1 month old. So I find it weird and sad yet funny that this is the first beer that I'm reviewing from Central Waters on my channel. Now, it's weird because I've had my channel now for 2.5 years and I have yet to review a Central Waters beer, and it's sad yet funny because Central Waters is known for their big barrel-aged beers, their Brewers Reserve series. So the fact that I'm reviewing a Coffee Pumpkin Milkshake IPA as the first beer, yeah, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm an idiot. But I do have a bunch of Brewers Reserve beers in the cellar from the last couple years. So I think I might do a Central Waters Brewers Reserve kind of theme week at some point in the near future because, yeah, they make some really good beers. And I've had some of them before and they're just delicious. And I think I should do it. But now we're going to do this one. So I think this is the most interesting one of everything I'm doing this year, 10 Days of Pumpkin. I mean, it's a Coffee Pumpkin Milkshake IPA. Pumpkin coffee spices. I mean, I've done a couple coffee pumpkin beers already, but a milkshake IPA, I don't know. I don't know what hops they're using this. I don't know much about this one, other than I walked into my local bottle shop, Premier Gourmet. Huge shout out to them. Great place. If you're ever in Amherst, they're in Amherst, New York. Amherst, Wisconsin is where it's from. Yeah, see what we're doing there? Everything's coming full circle. Not really. But yeah, they had this one. It just showed up recently, and one of the employees there was like, hey, did you check that out? I didn't even know that we get this, and I was happy and wanted to give it a go, so here we are. Anyway, yes, this is reminding me of the Dunkin' Pumpkin Ale from Harpoon and Dunkin' Donuts. It has that murky, almost, it looks terrible. I mean, on camera it might not look as bad, but in person it just looks terrible. It honestly just looks gross. It's like oxidized butternut squash soup. It just doesn't look good. It looks like a really oxidized IPA, but it's not. I mean, it has pumpkin in it, it has spices, it has coffee, so I get it. But yeah, it has this like really deep, muddled, turbid brown, like orange color. Has about a half finger of this light tan, almost creamy looking head. There is some alcohol legs on the glass, but yeah, it doesn't look appeasing, much like that Harpoon beer. So let's get a nose. The fuck? Yeah, they have a little spiel here on the side. It says, if you've met one Ryan, then you've met them all. That's how we saw it when we hired the third guy named Ryan on our crew. Before his first day, we had a new name for him, Wendy. Wendy loves his pumpkin spiced lattes, and every fall when the leaves begin to change, he's in the minivan racing to the drive-thru. This one is for you, Wendy. Okay. It's weird. It kind of has, and I haven't used this aroma or tasting, or whatever you want to call it, this year, but this kind of has like a pumpkin, like pumpkin candle kind of aroma, like that spiciness that you kind of know it's a candle. Yeah, getting like cinnamon and allspice, definitely a little bit of clove in there, the ginger, pretty much everything but the nutmeg. I think they said nutmeg, right? Yeah, nutmeg. There's no nutmeg I'm getting. Now, typically with milkshake IPAs, you're either using lactose or vanilla. They did not list it here. So I'm going to assume they're using one of the two. I don't smell either. Yeah, it just smells like one of those, pumpkin scented candles. That's what it smells like to me. Not really getting any hop character. It's just those spices are super huge. So the nose isn't amazing for me. It smells okay. But let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. Cool concept. The reason I picked this one up is it sounded cool. Coffee Pumpkin Milkshake IPA. Now, something like that would have sounded crazy, say, 4 or 5 years ago. Nowadays, it's so many, 10,000 different breweries in the U.S. Everybody trying all kinds of crazy shit. This isn't as unique as it once was. I think it's pretty unique as far as a beer that gets distro. I mean, they're out of Wisconsin. We get to see them here in New York. So picking this up, I had, in my mind, it was going to land one of two ways. Something that just doesn't work, could be maybe disgusting. Something that is over the top amazing. And for me, it's leaning towards the just doesn't work for me. First off, body on this one's like medium body, maybe a little bit under 7.2%. That's fine. The mouthfeel, there's a soft, smooth, like creaminess to it. It's not as carbonated as a lot of the other pumpkin beers that I'm reviewing this year. So I think it's appropriate for a milkshake IPA. I think I'd like to see a little bit more creamy, but it's nice as is. But the taste just, it's fucking weird. It's really, really strange to me. It's not bad. It's kind of like, it's nothing characteristic wise like the Smutty Nose Pumpkin Ale that I reviewed on day whatever it was, 4 or 5. But it just has that same feeling to me where like it just doesn't do it for me. Right up front, I'm hitting with all that pumpkin, candled kind of spiciness, tons of cinnamon and allspice, clove and ginger, all at the forefront. Right after that, a little bit of sweetness. I am getting a touch of vanilla right after that. But then mid-palate, something changes. Like the forefront of it, not bad. I think it's a little bit too spice forward for me. Obviously, like I told you, the nose is pretty much a pumpkin spice candle. And then the taste is kind of similar. But like mid-palate is where it kind of devolves into something that is just really weird, really strange, and just something that's, I don't know, just kind of throwing my palate for a loop, and not in a good way. Because I'm hit with like this pretty full-on dryness like midway through the palate. And then there's the IPA portion that mixes in with this bitterness, like a moderate bitterness from what I'd assume are the hops. And that carries on the back of the palate, and it's the like spiciness or the dryness from like the spices and the bitterness, but also like the spice flavors mixed in with that. So it's like a bittering spice component that carries on to the back of the palate, and it just kind of loses me there. Like midway through the palate to the finish is just, I don't enjoy it. It has, I can't really detect the alcohol, 7.2%. But I don't like that lingering, bitter, spicy kind of component. Like, I don't mind. I actually like beers with bitterness. I like IPAs when it has a nice, moderate bitterness. I like spice-forward pumpkin ales. But I think the two of them battling, the finish just kind of ruins it for me. I'm going to drink the rest of it. Let me pour the rest into the glass, see if we got anything going on at the bottom here. This is not a drain pour to me. Not a drain pour, but I don't like that finish. I hate doing this to Central Waters because, again, I cannot stress enough how much I like the beers I've had from them in the past, especially their barrel-aged series. I think it's awesome. They're amazing. This, for me, just does not work for my palate. I could see a lot of people drinking this one and going, you know what, I really like the back end of the bitterness on the back end. Maybe their spices aren't hitting them as much as it hits me. It's definitely a predominant note, and it's just a bit too much spice in this one. I want more of like a vanilla kind of presence. I want more of like the base malt. That's why I like pumpkin ales in general. I like that brown sugar, caramel, bready kind of base with the pumpkin spices, and it kind of becomes like a pumpkin pie filling. This one, for me, it's not really pumpkin pie filling. It's just like a pumpkin spiced beer, and it's a pumpkin spiced IPA that I think is a bit too bitter without any redeeming qualities for me personally from the IPA character. So at the end of the day, this just doesn't work to my palate. So got to be honest with all these reviews, and I hate doing this because, again, I love Central Waters. But Central Waters, their Wendy Coffee Pumpkin Milkshake IPA, the 2020 version, I can only give it a 2.75 out of 5. It's the lowest I think I've given a beer on the 10 Days of Pumpkin. I actually like this less than the Smutty Nose Pumpkin Ale. While the Smutty Nose Pumpkin Ale didn't have a lot of flavor to me, at least it was drinkable. It just didn't have a ton of flavor. This one is almost undrinkable. Not undrinkable in my palate, but boy, do I really not want to drink that. So this might be a drain pour. I don't know. We'll see if I'll get it down or not as I go. I mean, there's not a lot left to begin with, but yeah, man, I'm fucking so disappointed because this sounded interesting. But again, I kind of knew it could go one of two ways for me. Unfortunately, it went the way of just not for me. So price and availability, I believe I paid for a single can like $4.59. I think like 4-pack for like $18. So for a 12-ounce 4-pack, or maybe they're even in 6-packs, all I know is I paid $4.59 for this can. So if it comes in 4-packs, around $18 a 4-pack, I obviously would never pay that again. In fact, I would never pay for this beer again because it's just, again, not for me. Availability, wherever you see Central Waters, you probably see this one. Again, we just started getting decent distribution of Central Waters over the last year or so here. And I did not think we would see this. I thought most of their Brewers Reserve series, and we have seen quite a few of them. But yeah, so if you do get Central Waters in your neck of the woods, you should see this one. But this is the beer, and I say this in every fucking review. Oh, let me know in the comments, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sure you're sick of hearing it, but seriously, whoever out there has had this beer, let me know what you think about it. I'm sure there's going to be a couple comments where like, man, I fucking really like that. I dug the bitterness. I really got the milkshake IPA portion. And then hopefully there's at least one other person out there who agrees with me because I feel kind of bad, pooping on this beer. But I mean, I don't think it's poorly brewed or anything. I just don't think that finish works for me, and it kind of distracts me from the rest of the palate, and it's kind of a bummer. I mean, the positives are 7.2%. You can't taste it, but that finish, it's not for me. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. We're done with day 9. Tomorrow is the 10th and final day. It's also Halloween. And one last beer we have is another beer from the Elysian Brewing Company, the Great Pumpkin Imperial Pumpkin Ale. I'm hoping we end the 10 days of pumpkin this year with a good one, because if I have another bad pumpkin beer, maybe I'll never do a 10 days of pumpkin ever again. That's a lie. Every single year. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by. To the next one. Cheers.